Hi guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ms. Varz. If you're new, welcome to the family. If you're old, thank you so much for coming back. For today's video, I'm going to show you guys, I always have notes, I love having notes. I'm going to show you guys how I revise. So in the first video that I made about this whole revision thing, I made a video on a cool revision technique that I use. Then in the second video, I showed you guys how to make a sick revision schedule that would actually be helpful and manageable. And now in the third video, I'm going to show you guys how to revise. Not how to revise, but I'm going to tell you what I do to revise, like what is revision, right? And I'm going to show you what I basically do in each of the day slots. And for today is my first day of revising, which is really bad. I'm like 2 days late, but it's fine, we keep it pushing. So I am going to be revising Alexander the Great. How do you know that? Look, it's written right here where it says Alexander the Great. So for this first 10 days, I'm going to be doing Alexander the Great, which I have an exam on the 24th of April, I believe. So what I'm going to do is show you guys what I'll do in the 6 hours of my revision today. Right now it's currently about 1 p.m-ish, so I should be done with this by at least 9 o'clock if I space it out and I do it in chunks. So let's get into the video. I'm so excited, and please do give this video a thumbs up because I get so excited when I see you guys liking my stuff and everything like that. I don't know why, I just do. So yeah, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe because we have just hit 16,000. In the last video we were not on 16,000 and now we are, and I'm just like, what is going on? But yeah, thank you so much, and let's get straight into the video. Okay, that's a good angle actually. We ain't mad at it. Okay, so the first step for me, because my work is set out in essays, I get given an essay every single week. So my tutor for this topic has given me 6 essays to do. Actually, was it 6? Yeah, he gave me 6 essays to do in the term last term. So I have each of those essays and I'm going to use that as my revision base. So for me, step 1 on my list is to read the essay. So I'm doing it day by day. So for today, I'm only concentrating on week 1 of term because our terms are broken up into 8 weeks, and you know how it goes. So I'm going to do it week by week and use that as a day, if that makes sense. So for week 1, I'm going to do it all in one day because it's revision. It's not learning, it's revision, you know. So for today, I'm going to reread the first essay that I wrote for my tutor, understand the topic, and for this week it was, are modern historians of Alexander too obsessed with source criticism? So for the first week the topic was how, oh, I need to file all of this, so bad of me, needs filing. Always file your work. Actually, rule number 1. Okay, so for week 1, I have the essay right here, the essay topic, and the essay topic for this was, are modern historians of Alexander too obsessed with source criticism? So now I know that the theme for this week, or for today, is source criticism by Alexander. I could write that in to my schedule. Remember I said I like to write it in as I go once I know what I'm doing. So for today one, it's going to be about source criticism. Source criticism. So step 1 will be for me to read the essay, understand it in depth, and realize what the topic is about because it's been a while since we did this. Then the next step is I would make notes of what my tutor's report was of my essay. So all I have to do, I write everything down, which is really, really good of me actually. So all I have to do is go in and find what he said. So there's my essay. He made notes around it. I made notes of his notes, and I will write down what we spoke about in the tutorial, what his notes were of my work, and kind of just understand where I went wrong basically, because reading my own essay is no good if I don't understand what was right or wrong about it. Then the next thing that I would do is make mind maps of that. So I don't know why, but I really enjoy just making a good mind map about the information that I've taken in, because it just, I don't know, it just helps me visually see what I'm doing. So far, step 1 is to read the essay topic. Step 2 is to make notes of what my tutor's marks were about my work in that essay. Step 3 is to make mind maps about that, just so I can have a rough idea of what my argument was for that week and what the general themes are. Step 4 is the part where we do reading. So I will go back through my essay title that I get given, which looks a bit like this. So you always have your week, the question, and then the reading list of what work I read. So what I'll do is I'll go back through that reading list and read the most important things on there, which for this week is the literary sources, the main ones, because that's what the topic's about, source criticism. So I need to reread the main passages concerning this week's work about, you know, their criticism of Alexander or whatever, reread those main topics and re-understand them, because that's the main important thing. And when I've read those, what I'll do is make notes of them and highlight the key quotes. So things that I should have in my brain for the exam, because at the beginning when I was doing this topic to start with, I read everything because you want to understand the whole context of everything that you're reading. But now that it's revision, I need to start zooming in. So instead of rereading the whole chapter, I'll just zoom in on certain quotes, because that's what you can actually take into the exam, and that's what I guess will be useful, what you can remember. So let's tick these along as we go, because you know. So read essay topic, cool. Make notes of what the tutor said, make mind maps, reread the passages again in the books, make notes and highlight them and get quotable quotes. Watch the lectures. Now this is what I would do next, is watch the lectures. So I would watch the lectures that we had that week on this topic. So at Ox, at every uni I suppose, you have lectures that coincide with what you're learning, which is really good and great actually. So what I would do next in the next slot of time, so I'd have probably done the reading of the essay, making notes of that, making mind maps in the first hour or two. Then I would probably read the passages that are important again and make notes of those and make like a little mind map in the second hour or something like that. And then in the third hours, like the third and fourth towards the end of my revision day, I will rewatch lectures and just listen to them back, kind of thing, on super speed. Never listen to it the whole way through. So now the next part, the last part of my revision day, will be watching and listening to the lectures. Just, you've heard it already, but just to go over and just to re-embed it in your brain, now that you've kind of looked over it again and you understand it differently, it's really important to revisit what you first heard and see how you take it. So I will go back and watch the lectures. I think there'll probably be 2 lectures on this topic actually. So that would be what I do next, just because for me, I learn better by hearing things and writing it down. So listening to lectures is really, really fun. Then make a cute summary of what I've learned. So then at the end of that revision day, I would make a summary page of the whole topic and what I've learned or what's important, and have key quotes in there and little mind map in the corner, so that by the end of the day I'll have like a page of this topic and I'll file it away. And then when I now come back to, so I'll file it away and I'll have a whole page on this. When I now come to doing the second layer of revision of the same topic, instead of going to touch my essay or this book, I'll just go to that page of notes, if that makes sense. So then I'm now revising from the page of notes, which is consolidated and has key things on it. Then in the final one, I would just learn from the notes that I'd made of the notes. Does that make sense? So it's all about just getting it from a big chunk of information, smaller, more condensed, until you're only saying it in a sentence, and then you go to revise and you go to your exam and you know it in your head. Cool? Cool. So then I will write it down on a cute piece of paper. Cool. Then I might, depending on how tired I am or how much work I've done, because you don't want to overwork yourself, that's number one, I might then also go through past exam papers, only a few, and just kind of see how these questions about this topic get structured in an exam, because I haven't looked at the exam papers yet. So it would be good to have an idea of how source criticism, which is the topic for this week for me, is actually asked as an exam question. I wouldn't do the exam. I would just probably look at what kind of questions come up and then make a little essay plan just to see would I be able to do it if I had to. And then that would be it for me for the day. I'd probably do that in 5 to 6 hours because I work quite efficiently and quite quickly. And then I would stop. Next day, do the same thing with a different topic, keep going until I reach the day of my exams and I followed my revision schedule. Revision schedule. And yeah, that is it for me from today. I'm gonna crack on with what I've just said I'm gonna do. Let's recap because I love a good recap. Number 1, read the essay topic. Number 2, make notes of the teacher report. Number 3, make mind maps of all of that. Number 4, read the key passages again in your source books or whatever you have. Number 5, make notes of them and highlight them and get the key quotes out. Number 6, watch your lectures back and make fresh notes of what you'd kind of already heard when you were going to lectures during term time. Number 7, then make a cute summary of what you've learned today from revisiting what you were doing this term. And then number 8, potentially look at some exam papers and make sure that you would be capable and able to answer anything that comes up in the exam. And that's basically it. Those are my top tips on how to start revising. It's all about just diving in, get in there, get involved and just start working, because the longer you think about it, the more you procrastinate, which is not good. So I hope that video is helpful. It just gives you a rough idea of what I actually do to revise, and that's what I'm gonna crack on with now because we have left this too long. So bye, see you in my next video, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, thumbs up and help me get to 17k, please. Thank you so much. Love you. Bye.